Hello everyone, I am Sale, and this is the video recap of the Team Liquid Legacy Star League semifinals. In our first semifinal, we had Terran Invite Skyline playing against American Zerg Invite Michael. Game 1 opened with Skyline trying to out-cheese the Cheese King, going for a proxy barracks as his first barracks and using his second barracks to wall off at the top of his ramp. Skyline then went for the bunker rush against Michael's 12 patch, but Michael's drone micro was too strong and he was forced to GG out. In Game 2, Skyline went in the opposite direction and decided to play super greedy, going for a 14cc to his back mineral only on Electric Circuit. Michael had gone for a standard 12 patch opening, and when he scouted the wall off with his first Overlord, he misread the build as a 1-fact expand from Skyline. Despite preparing for an imaginary Vulture harass that never comes, Michael is still able to do good damage with effective Ling run-bys into Skyline's main. He then follows up with some standard 3-hatch Muta harass, while Skyline attempts to also take his natural expansion, going up to 3 base against a 3 base Zerg. With his Muta harass and Ling run-bys already doing good damage to Skyline, Michael senses a moment of weakness and commits to a Muta Ling all-in and finishes off the Terran. In Game 3 on Ground 0, Skyline decides to just go for the normal 1-Rax expand build, while Michael opens with a 12 pull into 2-hatch Muta. Skyline follows up with a very standard 2 barracks and academy, and builds a lot of turrets to try and defend against Michael's fast Mutas. Unfortunately for Skyline, Michael's Muta micro is just too strong, and with only 2 barracks pumping out Marines, he is unable to defend against them. So in our first semifinal, we have Michael advancing over Skyline 3-0. In our second semifinal, we had a ZVZ between Spanish hero Eon Zerg and the formidable Ziki. In Game 1, things started off poorly for the underdog, as Eon Zerg went for a 12-pull expand versus Ziki's 12-patch. Eon Zerg tried to take advantage of his earlier Ling speed to do a Zergling attack on Ziki's natural, but he got himself into a bad position and got completely demolished. Ziki's counterattack with his own Zerglings were able to kill a lot of Eon Zerg's drones. And eventually Eon Zerg was unable to hold on and had to GG out of the game. In game number 2, we had mirror builds with both players opening with 9 pool. Despite this fact, Eon Zerg's lair and speed both started slower than Ziki's. In a similar situation to game 1, Eon Zerg then also went for a very questionable Ling attack into Ziki's main and lost most of his Zergling force. The counterattack from Ziki was then able to kill 3 of Eon Zerg's drones, while the counter to the counter from Eon wasn't actually able to kill anything in Ziki's main. Ziki then once again rides the drone advantage to the eventual victory. In Game 3, we saw both players spawn in vertical positions on Ground 0, and Eon Zerg opened with a 9 pull against a 12 pull expand of Ziki. Eon Zerg's Zergling speed of course finishes a lot faster than his opponent's, and his initial Ling attack is able to do good damage at Ziki's natural. Ziki barely holds off a Zergling attack and builds spore colonies in an attempt to hold off the incoming Mutalisks. In doing so, however, he neglects to make a ground army, and Eon Zerg uses a Muta Zergling combo to win the game. In Game 4, Eon Zerg once again starts off on the back foot, going for an overpull against Ziki's 12 pull in cross positions on Sniper Ridge. As history repeats itself, Eon Zerg goes for another failed Zergling attack to try and break Ziki's ramp, while just a single Zergling managed to sneak its way past into his own main and snipes 3 drones before Eon Zerg even notices. Having taken massive damage to his economy and also losing a lot of his Zerglings in a futile attempt to break Ziki's ramp, Eon Zerg is unable to hold off the Zergling counterattack from Ziki, and Ziki takes the game. So Ziki advances 3-1 over Eon Zerg and will face Michael in another Zerg vs Zerg in the finals. Our finals this weekend will include the 3rd-4th place match between Skyline and Eon Zerg, as well as our grand finals between Michael and Ziki. The cast will be at 21 CET as always, and we will have a special surprise at the end of the cast. There may be more details in our news post, so check that out, and I hope to see you guys all there. Game number 1 started off with Skyline busting out the cheese with a barracks supply of barracks. And Michael had good drone micro to defend, and Skyline was, what's going on here? Unfortunately for Skyline, Michael's Muta micro is just shit. Having lost a lot of his Zerglings at the front trying to break Ziki's the ramp. Despite preparing for having taken massive damage to his economy, Eon Zerg is unable to hold off the counter Zergling attack from Ziki, and oh my god.